Weird human glitches evolution. Never fixed. Let's jump right into this. Number 8. The useless appendix. Imagine carrying around a ticking biological mystery box that might explode at any time. That's your appendix. This little worm-shaped pouch hangs off your large intestine like an afterthought. And for most of history, scientists had no idea why it existed. Spoiler, they still don't fully agree. Back in the day, the appendix might have helped digest raw plants, bark, or whatever prehistoric salad was on the menu. It may have been a bacterial safe house, keeping good microbes stored up for when you had diarrhea-level disasters. Cool, right? Except here in modern life, where you're not gnawing tree bark for dinner, it's basically just a fleshy grenade waiting for the wrong moment to go off. Appendicitis hits about 1 inch 20 people, usually with no warning. One day you're fine, next day you're doubled over while doctors rush to cut out this useless time bomb before it bursts. Evolution really said, yeah, let's keep this in the code. Don't worry, it's fine. So instead of being a helpful organ, the appendix is the body's version of Internet Explorer. Outdated, barely functional, and dangerous when it crashes. Number 7. Wisdom teeth, aka nature's prank. At some point, evolution looked at human jaws and said, let's shrink these down so people can't chew raw mammoth anymore. Great for face symmetry, terrible for the bonus molars that still erupt like uninvited house guests. Wisdom teeth are those extra back molars that show up in your late teens or early 20s, right when you're already broke, confused, and possibly still living with your parents. Perfect timing for your mouth to suddenly demand a $2,000 surgery. The thing is, ancient humans needed them. They chewed on raw meat, nuts, and plants all day. More molars meant less choking on twigs. But modern humans? We've got blenders, ovens, and dentists. Our jaws are smaller, our diets are softer, and when wisdom teeth try to squeeze in, they end up sideways, jammed, or stabbing into your gums like bad roommates fighting over fridge space. So why do we still grow them? Because evolution moves slower than your Wi-Fi when everyone's streaming at once. Basically, wisdom teeth are nature's way of trolling us. A painful reminder of a diet we no longer eat, plus a bonus round of dental debt. Number 6. Back pain factory. Congratulations, you walk on 2 legs. Very impressive. You've evolved past knuckle dragging and can now carry groceries, type on laptops, and look down your nose at 4-legged animals. But here's the catch. Your spine was never really designed for this. Standing upright is basically a lifelong balancing act, and your lower back pays the price. The human spine originally evolved for creatures walking on all fours. When we started standing tall, evolution did a quick patch job, curving the spine into in shape so we wouldn't topple over like Jenga blocks. Clever, right? Except this redesign came with structural flaws. The lower vertebrae take way more load than they should, discs wear out, and voila! Almost 80% of humans experience back pain at some point. That's not a bug, that's a feature. And don't forget childbirth. The very same evolutionary spine hack that let us walk upright also narrowed the pelvis, making human births famously difficult and dangerous. Basically, evolution upgraded us to vertical addition without checking compatibility, and now we're stuck with backaches, herniated discs, and chiropractors making bank. So yeah, every time you feel that stabbing pain in your lower back, just remember, you're carrying the receipt for bipedalism, and it's non-refundable. Number 5. Choking hazard throat. Here's a fun fact. Humans are one of the only species dumb enough to choke to death on food. That's because our throat design is an absolute mess. In most animals, the air and food passages are neatly separated. In humans, they intersect like 2 highways sharing one dangerous merge lane. Why? Blame speech. To talk, we needed a larynx that could move lower in the throat, creating a resonating chamber for complex sounds. Yay, poetry and TikTok commentary. But the trade-off is a high risk of choking. Now a poorly chewed carrot can kill you faster than a predator ever could. Evolution basically said, you want language? Fine, but don't be surprised if a peanut takes you out. Every year, thousands of people die choking on food, which is both terrifying and deeply stupid. Imagine explaining that to your ancestors, who survived saber-toothed tigers, freezing winters, and tribal wars, only for you to get taken out by a grape. So yeah, we won the gift of language but lost the ability to safely eat without risking death. Humans, simultaneously the most advanced species and the clumsiest eaters on Earth. Number 4. Motion sickness madness. Picture this. You're sitting in a perfectly nice car, not moving your legs, just trying to read a text. And suddenly your brain decides you're poisoned. You get nauseous, sweaty, and one wrong bump later, you're that person begging for a plastic bag. That's motion sickness, and it makes absolutely zero sense for modern humans. Here's the sciencey version. Your inner ear senses movement, but your eyes don't. The mismatch confuses your brain, which thinks, this must be toxins messing with the system. Time to puke. Because obviously, the logical response to being on a smooth car ride is to eject your lunch. Evolution meant this reflex as a defense mechanism against hallucinogenic plants and bad berries. Now, it's just punishing you for trying to ride the bus. Even worse, not everyone gets it. Some people are biologically blessed, scrolling TikTok in the back seat without a care while you're dying next to them like a seasick Victorian child. Boats, planes, VR, headsets, it doesn't matter. Your brain's first reaction is, we're poisoned, release the Kraken. So yeah, motion sickness is the biological equivalent of a smoke alarm that goes off every time you make toast. Completely useless and endlessly annoying. Number 3, the sleep paralysis demon. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night. Your brain's alert, but your body refuses to move. Oh, and bonus, you see a shadowy figure sitting on your chest. Congratulations, you've just met the sleep paralysis demon, one of humanity's creepiest evolutionary leftovers. Here's what's actually happening. During REM sleep, your brain paralyzes most of your muscles to stop you from acting out dreams. It's supposed to be protective, but sometimes you wake up before the paralysis wears off. The result? You're conscious, frozen, and your brain, still half dreaming, starts hallucinating. That's where the demon, the shadow people, and all the folklore of night terrors come from. Evolution's original intent was noble. Don't run into a wall while dreaming you're a ninja. But instead, millions of people end up terrified in their beds, convinced a demon is breathing down their neck. The glitch is so common it appears across cultures. Japanese folklore calls it kanashibari. Old European legends blamed witches, and modern sufferers just scream internally until they can wiggle a toe. So yeah, thanks evolution. Instead of helping, you gifted us a horror movie that randomly plays in real life. Basically, sleep paralysis is like your body buffering at the worst possible moment. Number 2, phantom pain theater. You know what's worse than pain? Pain that makes absolutely no sense. People who've lost a limb often report feeling sensations burning, itching, stabbing in the body part that no longer exists. It's called phantom limb pain, and it's evolution's cruelest practical joke. Why does it happen? Because your brain is stubborn. The sensory map in your cortex still has space reserved for the missing limb. When nerves in the stump misfire, the brain interprets the signals as coming from the ghost limb. Basically, your nervous system refuses to update the software, so it keeps pinging a limb that checked out ages ago. From an evolutionary perspective, phantom pain is useless. It doesn't protect you. It doesn't heal anything. It just torments people for no reason. Imagine your smoke alarm going off every night for a fire that burned down years ago. That's phantom limb pain. What makes it even creepier? Some people can feel wedding rings, shoes, or watches they haven't worn in years. Others sense their phantom limb moving into impossible positions, like twisting backward or being crushed. The brain is so dedicated to keeping the glitch alive, it invents horror scenarios that make people suffer. So yeah, thanks evolution. Not only did you give us fragile bodies, you also added bonus ghost pain to rub it in. Number 1, Goosebumps, but make it useless. Ah yes, Goosebumps the classic. You hear a spooky noise, get a chill, or maybe just listen to a killer music track, and suddenly your skin bristles like you're a threatened porcupine. Except, plot twist, you're not a porcupine. You're a baldish primate with barely enough body hair to make a fuzzy sweater. Once upon a time, goosebumps were practical. When our fur-covered ancestors got cold, the tiny muscles at the base of each hair would contract, fluffing up the coat for insulation. When threatened, the same reflex made them look bigger and scarier. But for modern humans, all it does is give you tiny skin pimples that don't scare anyone. Unless you're auditioning for mildly uncomfortable reptile cosplay. And sure, it still kind of works. People get goosebumps during emotional highs, music, fear, nostalgia. Scientists think it's tied to the ancient fight-or-flight response, but at this point, it's basically just an evolutionary screensaver. So the next time you feel goosebumps while watching a horror movie, remember, evolution gave you a once deadly defense mechanism that now translates to chicken skin for no reason. Basically, you're a lion with the mane removed, still puffing up your fur that isn't there. That's everything for today's video. I'll keep making more like this, so subscribe if you want to see them.